Thank you, Joe. I would like to introduce our final speaker today, Randy Ferguson, who is the Executive Director of the organization Hunters Sharing the Harvest. Randy.
Thank you, Senator Vogel. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. Representative Kincaid, the Hunger Caucus, our friends at the Department of Agriculture, Human Services, and my colleagues from around the room here that are involved in the charitable food system. As I was driving across the state yesterday from my home along the Ohio border, I was looking and I noticed the further east I got, I started noticing more and more leaves starting to change. And as a Pennsylvania hunter, that makes me think about hunting season. But we're here in September thinking about Hunger Action Month. Pennsylvania is ramping up and about to start their hunting seasons. We actually kicked it off last weekend with squirrel season here in PA. You might ask why this hunting guy is here talking to you today. Well, when we think about hunting, there's a number of terms that come to mind. It's usually things like conservation, it's wildlife management. Hunting is thought of as a consumptive sport, which it is, and by design. We consider ourselves sportsmen and women, conservationists, and we want to feed our family. We're not out there just trophy hunting. But here in Pennsylvania, which is one of the leading states in the nation for hunting in general and white-tailed deer hunting especially, I'm very proud to stand in front of you and say that Pennsylvania hunters are not just taking care of their own families with the game that they harvest here in Pennsylvania, but they're performing a social service on a scale that might really surprise you. This kind of novel mission of hunters donating deer to help people in their community that they don't know is something that started right here in Pennsylvania 33 years ago, and I'm tremendously proud of that. Last year alone, Pennsylvania hunters donated 262,000 pounds of venison across the state. That's from almost 7,000 deer. And we equate that to somewhere in the neighborhood of 1.3 million servings of very lean, protein-rich venison to the food insecure in Pennsylvania. And over the course of our 33 years, it's been along the tune of 2.5 million pounds of venison that have been donated here in the state. And that's something that I am very proud to represent, not only the charitable food system here in Pennsylvania, but Pennsylvania hunters, and to say that across the country, groups similar to ours are doing very similar work and doing great things, but Pennsylvania from year to year leads this effort in hunters helping the food insecure in their community. We get a lot of support from people in this room, from the legislature, from the Department of Ag, from our various partners here in the room, but we're a relatively small nonprofit organization in the grand scheme of things. But the key to our model is that we want hunters to be able to donate deer and not have to have a financial stake in that process. We want to consider that by donating that deer, you've done your good. You shouldn't still have to pay the processing fee to do that. So that's my job. That's our job as Hunters Sharing the Harvest and as a nonprofit, to raise the funds each year so that we can continue to pay for these processing fees that we negotiate with about 100 processors around the state. So just like my partners here, and as Mr. Arthur just mentioned to you a few minutes ago, we, like any organization, need continued funding. We need the legislature to keep us in mind at all times. We've already got tremendous support here from state agencies, the Department of Ag, Pennsylvania Game Commission, and so forth. But we always need more funding if we're to be able to sustain this program moving forward, because we're seeing increases in the neighborhood of 10 to 15% a year in donations, which is tremendous. But our fundraising efforts need to be able to work in pace with that kind of increase. So we just want to encourage people to think about this, whether you're a hunter or not. Obviously, if you're a deer hunter, I'd like to encourage you to take advantage of the various hunting opportunities you have, the antlerless tags that are available here in Pennsylvania that also help the Pennsylvania Game Commission manage our herd. There's a reason why they allocate these tags for us. Hunters that want to spend more time in the field have that opportunity once they've fed their family to continue filling tags and then perform a social service. But if you're not a hunter, and you appreciate this novel mission that we have here, there's all sorts of ways you can help us, whether it's financially, whether it's as a volunteer. You don't have to be a hunter to be the boots on the ground folks around the state that help us talk about our mission and let people know that there is such a thing. As I travel around the state, I get one of two reactions. It's either someone who's well aware of Hunters Sharing the Harvest, who's a hunter, who's donated deer to us over the year, or it's a blank stare because they've never heard of such a thing as a venison donation program. But we're here, we're doing good, and I'm very happy to be here representing not only the charitable food system, but Pennsylvania hunters as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Randy, for all that you and your organization do. One way we can continue to support our residents experiencing food insecurity is by supporting our local food banks and organizations like Hunters Sharing the Harvest. If able, I encourage our communities to donate non-perishable food items to their area food banks and help make a difference to those families in need. So once again, I want to thank everyone for coming today and appreciate everybody being here. So thank you very much. Have a good day.